Chapter 1. A Dream Begins. Emma was a young woman from New York City. She lived with her parents in a small apartment near Central Park. She always loved reading books about Europe, especially London. She used to watch British movies and copy their accents in front of the mirror. Her biggest dream was to travel alone to London one day. She wanted to see the places she had only read about. Emma had just finished college. She was tired and needed a break before starting a new job. One quiet night, she sat on her bed and opened her laptop. She searched for tickets to London and found a good deal. Her heart started beating fast. Without telling anyone, she clicked Buy Ticket. Her flight was in 2 weeks. The next morning, she told her parents. "Are you sure you want to go alone?" Her mother asked, worried. Emma smiled. "Yes, Mom, I want to do this for myself." Her dad nodded slowly and said, "Just be careful and call us every day." For the next 2 weeks, Emma prepared everything. She packed clothes, a small camera, a travel guide, and her passport. She also bought a new pink notebook to write her travel memories. She was nervous but also very excited. On the day of her flight, Emma wore her favorite blue jeans and a white t-shirt. She waved goodbye to her parents at the airport. Her mother cried a little. Her father gave her a strong hug. Emma smiled and said, "Don't worry. I'll be fine." As the plane took off, Emma looked outside the window. The tall buildings of New York became small dots. She took a deep breath and whispered, "London, I'm coming." Chapter 2. Goodbye, New York. The plane ride was long, almost 7 hours. Emma couldn't sleep much. She watched 2 movies and listened to music. The flight attendant gave her juice and snacks. Emma felt strange sitting next to strangers, but she also felt brave. This was her first time flying alone. As the plane flew over the Atlantic Ocean, Emma looked at the clouds. They looked like soft pillows in the sky. She took out her pink notebook and wrote, "First solo flight." Feeling scared but proud. "Hope London is kind to me." When the plane landed at Heathrow Airport, Emma felt both tired and excited. It was early morning in London. The sky was gray and the weather was cool. Emma walked slowly through the airport, looking at signs. Everything felt different. She followed the crowd to the passport check. The officer asked her questions in a British accent. "What's the purpose of your visit?" he asked. Emma replied, "Vacation." He smiled and stamped her passport. "Enjoy your stay." Emma picked up her suitcase and walked outside the airport. She saw black taxis and red double-decker buses. It felt like a movie. She stood still for a moment and smiled. "Wow," she whispered. "I'm really here." She got into a taxi and gave the address of her hotel. As the car moved through the city, Emma looked outside with wide eyes. London looked beautiful, old, and full of stories. Chapter 3. Welcome to London. The taxi driver talked to Emma during the ride. "First time in London, miss?" he asked with a cheerful voice. "Yes," she replied shyly. "Well, you picked a great city," he said. Emma laughed softly and nodded. The hotel was small but cozy. Her room was on the 3rd floor with a little window. She could see rooftops and trees outside. She put down her suitcase and jumped on the bed. "I made it," she shouted to herself. Her heart was full of joy. Emma took a quick shower and changed her clothes. She didn't want to waste time. She grabbed her bag and notebook, then left the hotel to explore. She walked down the street slowly, taking in the sounds, smells, and sights. She saw small cafes, flower shops, and old buildings with charm. Everything felt new but also familiar from the books she had read. She took pictures with her phone and smiled at strangers. Some smiled back. It felt peaceful. Emma stopped at a bakery and bought a warm croissant. She sat on a bench and watched people walking by. Some wore suits, some walked their dogs, and some rode bicycles. She wrote in her notebook, "London is alive. I feel like I'm part of it." When she returned to her hotel that evening, she was tired but happy. She lay in bed thinking, this is just the beginning. Chapter 4. First Day in the City. Emma woke up early the next morning. The sun was shining through her little window and birds were singing. She got ready quickly, wearing a yellow top and black jeans. She tied her hair in a ponytail and wore her comfortable sneakers. Today she planned to visit some famous places. Her first stop was Big Ben. When she saw the big clock tower, her eyes widened. "It's so tall," she whispered. She took many pictures and even asked a stranger to take one of her standing with Big Ben behind her. The bell rang loudly and Emma laughed. It sounded powerful and grand. After Big Ben, she walked across Westminster Bridge. She saw the River Thames flowing below. Boats were passing slowly. Emma leaned on the railing and watched quietly. The wind touched her face. She felt calm, like the river was washing away all her stress. Next, she walked to Buckingham Palace. A large crowd was standing in front of the gates. Emma joined them and waited to see the famous guard change. After a few minutes, red-uniformed guards marched by. They moved so perfectly. Emma clapped softly with the crowd. She bought a sandwich and a juice from a street vendor. Then, she sat under a tree in St. James's Park. Ducks walked around her feet. Children were laughing nearby. Emma smiled and thought, I could live here. That night she wrote in her notebook, "London is even better than I imagined. I walked so much today, but my heart feels light." Chapter 5. A New Friend. The next day, Emma went to a small coffee shop near her hotel. She ordered a hot chocolate and sat by the window. As she was writing in her notebook, a girl around her age walked in. She had curly brown hair and a bright green coat. The girl looked around and asked, "Mind if I sit here?" Emma smiled and said, "Sure." They started talking. The girl's name was Lucy. She lived in London and worked in a bookstore. She loved reading and traveling too. They talked about books, food, and places to visit. Emma felt comfortable. Lucy was funny and full of energy. "I can show you around if you like," she offered. Emma was surprised but happy. "Really? That would be amazing!" Later that afternoon, Lucy took Emma to a quiet book market by the river. Old books were stacked everywhere. The smell of paper and coffee filled the air. Emma bought a small poetry book and hugged it close. As they walked along the river, they laughed and shared stories. Emma told Lucy about her life in New York. Lucy shared stories about growing up in London. They clicked like old friends. Emma couldn't stop smiling. When Emma returned to her hotel, she wrote in her notebook, "Made a new friend. Today, Lucy, she feels like sunshine." Chapter 6. Riding the London Eye. On Saturday, Emma met Lucy again. They planned to visit the London Eye together. Emma had seen pictures of it before, but now she was going to ride it. She was both excited and nervous. "It's so high," she said. They stood in line for a while. The weather was cloudy, but no rain. When it was their turn, they stepped into one of the glass capsules. It started moving slowly up. Emma held on to the rail. "Wow," she whispered. As the wheel went higher, the city opened up before their eyes. They saw Big Ben, the river, the bridges, and so many rooftops. Emma's eyes filled with tears. "It's so beautiful," she said. Lucy smiled. "London loves you already." They took photos together, made funny faces, and laughed like children. The view made Emma feel small but also free. She couldn't believe she was seeing London from the sky. It felt like a dream. When the ride ended, they walked along the riverbank. Street performers danced and sang. Lucy bought them both cotton candy. Emma took a bite and giggled. It tastes like clouds. That night, Emma couldn't sleep. Her heart was full. She wrote, "The London Eye showed me the city's heart. And I felt like a tiny star in a giant sky." Chapter 7. Lost in the Market. The next day, Emma decided to go exploring alone again. Lucy had to work. Emma chose to visit Camden Market. She took the underground train, followed the signs, and reached the busy streets. The market was huge. There were so many stalls: clothes, food, jewelry, books, and more. Music played in the background, and colorful lights decorated the shops. Emma bought a handmade bracelet and a warm chicken wrap. Everything was exciting. But after walking for an hour, Emma realized she didn't know where the exit was. She checked her map, but it didn't help. Her phone battery was low. Her heart beat faster. "Stay calm," she whispered. She walked to a quiet corner and took a deep breath. Then she asked a shop owner for directions. The woman smiled and pointed the way. "Straight, left, then you'll see the station." Emma thanked her and followed the path. When she finally saw the train station, she felt so relieved. "I did it," she whispered. She had gotten lost and found her way. It made her feel stronger, smarter, and more confident. That evening, she met Lucy and told her the whole story. They both laughed. Emma wrote, "Today I got lost, but I found my courage." Chapter 8. A Rainy Surprise. Monday morning came with gray skies and soft rain. Emma looked out the window and sighed. "Should I stay in?" she thought. But then she smiled and grabbed her red umbrella. "No way, rain won't stop me." She wore her coat, boots, and walked out. The streets were shiny with rain. People moved quickly, holding umbrellas. Emma walked slowly, enjoying the sound of raindrops hitting the ground. She visited a small art museum. The rooms were quiet and the paintings told many stories. Emma felt peaceful there. One painting showed a woman standing in the rain. Emma whispered, "Just like me today." Outside, she found a bench near a fountain and sat under her umbrella. The rain made everything feel like a movie. Her hair got a little wet, but she didn't mind. She smiled and said softly, "This is my London moment." Later, she bought hot tea from a corner shop and held it with both hands. The warmth made her feel loved. She walked back to her hotel slowly, still enjoying the rain. Her notebook entry that night said, "Rain can be magic too." Today I walked in the rain and didn't feel alone. Chapter 9. Saying Goodbye. Emma's last day in London came too fast. She felt sad. She packed her suitcase slowly. Every item had a story. Her bracelet, her poetry book, her photos, each one a memory she didn't want to leave behind. She met Lucy one last time at the same coffee shop. They hugged tightly. "Thank you for everything," Emma said. Lucy smiled. "You brought joy to my days." They talked, laughed, and promised to stay in touch. They walked around one last time, hand in hand. Emma took pictures of small corners she had missed before. A cat sleeping on a doorstep. A boy jumping in a puddle. A woman playing the violin. As they reached the train station, Emma's eyes filled with tears. "I don't want to leave," she said. Lucy hugged her again. "You'll be back. London will wait for you." Emma gave Lucy a small gift, a New York keychain. "So you don't forget me," she said. Lucy laughed, "As if I ever could." They waved as the train doors closed. That night, Emma sat in her hotel room and wrote, "Leaving is the hardest part. But London lives in my heart now." Chapter 10. Back Home with Memories. The plane back to New York felt quiet. Emma looked out the window for hours. She thought of every place she had visited. every smile, every moment. She had changed in just 10 days. When the plane landed, her parents were waiting. Her mom cried and hugged her tight. Her dad laughed and said, "You look stronger." Emma smiled and said, "Because I am." At home, she showed them all the pictures. Her dad loved the photo from the London Eye. Her mom loved the bracelet. Emma told stories about Lucy, the rain, the markets, and the food. Over the next few weeks, Emma missed London a lot. But she also felt proud. She had gone alone, met a new friend, got lost, and found joy. She had done something brave. She started writing a blog about her trip. She shared her thoughts, pictures, and lessons. Many girls wrote to her saying, "You inspired me." Emma smiled and replied, "You can do it too." One evening, she opened her notebook and wrote, "London changed me. I left a piece of my heart there, but I brought back something bigger, courage.